to my channel. I wanted to come on here and chit chat with you guys about some mom guilt. I told you guys that we would talk about this, and so we're going to. Let me drink my delicious gourmet ramen noodle broth. Um, so before we get into talking about mom guilt, you guys, I need to talk to you guys about something. So I talked to my boss this morning, and he can't tell me what to do, but I look up to him a lot. And he basically begged me, pleaded with me to let this whole JK situation go. And I told him that I would unlist my videos. I left 2 videos up, I think, that I felt were important to the whole situation, and I unlisted the rest of my videos. And there's a reason why, you guys. So she's backed into a corner, and she feels like she is. And my boss doesn't want anything to happen to me where I lose my job, where my son or my family is put at risk. And so I spent like an hour on the phone with him talking about it, and he just told me, like, please do this for me, Nicole. Please, like, I don't want anything bad to happen to you. Like, this is really serious what this person is capable of doing, and I just am concerned for you. And so I look up to this man. He's been my mentor for like the last 3.5 years and almost 4 years now, and I take everything he says like so seriously. And so I went ahead and I unlisted the videos. And I know a lot of you guys are gonna be like, oh my gosh, you guys, this is my livelihood. This is my job. This is my boss that I'm talking on the phone with, okay? This isn't just me like, oh, I don't feel like talking about it anymore. You guys know how passionate I am about things that are wrong being done in the community. But my boss is like, you have so much potential, and I have so many people that look up to you and who are watching your channel and who want to work with you in the future, big companies, big other doctors, other lawyers, other therapists, and I just don't want any of this to hold you back from being able to succeed, And so, so I listened to him. So I wanted to be honest with you guys and let you guys know that's what I did. So yeah, that's it. That's that. Now we're going to talk about mom guilt. And I'm going to start trying to be more professional on my videos because you guys know how comfortable I am on YouTube. Like, I act like this, like we're all like I act like not anybody's going to see these videos. And like, I have to start doing a better job about not just like peeing on my live streams and that kind of thing. Okay. So Lord help us all, honey. Lord help us all. So that's what this video is going to be about. It's going to be about mom guilt. So we're just now getting started. I just wanted to let you guys know that came here because you were watching the Jessica Kent drama unfold. I wanted to come here and let y'all know that I unlisted a bunch of my videos. If you have the links to those videos, you can still watch them. Okay, but it's to protect myself and my family and my job. Now my job, okay? So, y'all know whenever I was in my active addiction, I struggled with addiction during pregnancy. And that was one of the hardest things that I've ever been through in my whole entire life, was overcoming my addiction, having my son taken away, getting him back, and then having to heal, right? No, it's because I talked to my boss, and my boss told me to. I don't want to lose my job, straight up. So, after I had Nathaniel, and I went to treatment, sorry, I was like, I felt so much shame. And I felt like I was like the only person in the room that had struggled with addiction during pregnancy. Because the treatment center I went to, it was a lot of younger kids that were there. And none of them were pregnant or had been pregnant, you know. A lot of them were younger. And so it was really hard for me to talk about while I was in treatment. It was hard for me to admit that I struggled with addiction during pregnancy. So when I finally got out of treatment, and I started going to therapy, and I got into meetings, I started working with my sponsor. It started making it easier for me to, share about what I had gone through and talk about it more openly. Now, it was hard to come on here on YouTube and be honest about it, okay? Because when you come on YouTube, so many people judge you. People judge you that they only hear a couple lines from your story, And so when I first started sharing about being addicted while pregnant, it was really, really scary, because if my people who supported me didn't see the videos first, I would get just slammed with a bunch of hate, So once I overcame all that, and I kept working with my therapist, and my therapist would tell me things like, you were sick. You were not the Nicole that you are today. The Nicole today sitting before you would never use substances while pregnant. The Nicole today would never put her son in harm's way. But Nicole in active addiction, well, honey, I was just crazy back then. I didn't think about anything but myself. It's hard to say that. It's hard to say that I only thought about myself while I was pregnant. I think because I was on drugs, it kind of like blocked my maternal instinct, because I was always so high. I was always so high while I was pregnant. And a lot of the times when I was under the influence, I was in psychosis a lot. I would probably say out of the 9 months that I was pregnant, I used 5 months total, because I would end up getting sober, and then I would relapse, and then I would get sober. And so I probably used for about 5 months. But I feel like giving birth to your child while under the influence is like the ultimate horrible thing that you can do, So after having Nate and going to therapy and going to 12-step programs, I did work the steps many, many times through. But I feel like what really, really helped me was going to therapy and being able to talk to a therapist about what I was struggling with, because it was so hard for me to talk about it without being emotional. It still is really hard for me to talk about, because my son means so freaking much to me. And, everybody always tells me that I have to forgive myself, and I just don't understand how a mom can do that. I'm trying to forgive myself. But I've been sober for almost 8 years, and I'll have 8 years sober in July, and I still haven't gotten to a point where I forgive myself, The methadone clinic turned me away pregnant, addicted to heroin for what? That's crazy to me. But there's a lot of clinics that have doctors that work at them that don't care and don't have your best interest at heart. If that methadone clinic really cared and had your best interest at heart and your baby's best interest at heart, they would not have turned you away while you were pregnant. They would have brought you in and helped you. I wish that I had the courage to go and ask for help when I was struggling. I wish that I had stepped up to the plate and been honest about my addiction. At that time, I had gotten off opioids. I had stopped taking opioids and benzos, and I was just doing methamphetamine. And in my drugged out mind, I would make excuses and say, well, at least I'm not doing meth and opioids. My baby won't become dependent, right? Because I was only using stimulants. But that was just an excuse to make me feel better about what I was doing. Because it was wrong no matter how you cut it. So when you guys always ask me, like, how do you forgive yourselves, Nicole? How do you work through the mom guilt? I'm trying to find out too. I'm trying to find out how I'm supposed to heal from this because I still haven't and I don't know what to do. I try very hard to give myself grace and to realize that I was not the person I am today. But at the end of the day, like, I have to take responsibility for the actions that I took when I was pregnant, and I feel horrible about it. And I wish I could make it different every single day. Every single day. I wish I could do it differently. I wish I could rewind the hands of time and go back to when I was pregnant and not do what I did. I wish I could rewind and go get help and put myself in treatment. So I just wanted to come on here and share with you guys, like, when it comes to mom guilt, like, I don't have the answers, you know. I just try to do the best I can to take care of my son today and be the best mom I can be. And at the end of the day, that's all that matters. Is my family is all that matters to me. Like, they are the most important thing to me. I love you guys. I love helping people online. But at the end of the day, my family comes first. And so, as strongly as I feel about, standing up for what's right when it comes to this whole JK situation, like, I have to duck out gracefully and just be there to support the people who are doing the work now, because I'm going to end up getting myself in a position where I lose my job or I get hurt because somebody shows up at my door in the middle of the night at 1 a.m. Or I end up catching a case because somebody shows up here and I throw them over my balcony. And I don't want to go back to prison. I don't want to get in trouble. Because when it comes to my family, that's how fucking serious I am. So I wanted to be honest with you guys because I feel like people think that I have everything figured out. And I don't. I'm just trying to do the right thing. I'm just trying to be a good person. I'm just trying to do what's right. And since I got off of Lexapro and Wellbutrin, I was talking to Dr. B about this today. Since I've gotten off my medication, I feel so amazing. I feel more clear. I feel more focused. I feel more centered. But there's one thing that I've noticed since getting off my medications, and that's that I get really obsessed about one thing and I will just go hard on it. I will beat that nail into the coffin. And so, I did my part with 3 videos. 3 good videos. The first one sharing how it started, the second one sharing how my channel got deleted, and the third one being the police report readings, right? But no, what does Nicole have to do? Nicole has to make 30 videos. That way everybody knows. So anyway, it has nothing to do with me getting that C&D, y'all. It has nothing to do with that. It has everything to do with my job and my livelihood and my bosses begging me. My boss saying, please, Nicole, please, I don't want anything bad to happen to you. I'm really worried. I'm really concerned. And I didn't think about that. I was just so bad that these lies are being told. And that people are able to be able to get famous and make money off of being dishonest. And I felt so strongly about that. So strongly. My inner conviction, my morals. But like Dr. B said, he said, how old are you? I said 41. He goes, your main responsibility is your son. Is taking care of your son and protecting your son. And I totally lost sight of that. And I'm so sorry if I made anybody feel any type of way or if I disappointed any of you guys. I'm trying not to cry because I'm trying to just share, and be honest with you guys. But I'm so sorry if I made any of you guys lose faith in me or be upset with me or disappointed in me, but I just felt so strongly about it. I'm so glad Tracy showed up the time she did. You got the bowl rolling. Yeah. So me too, because I just need some of this responsibility to be lifted up off of me, and you're right. I was so triggered by it. I was just so triggered by the lack of accountability. It honestly triggered the fuck out of me because I have taken accountability, because I have had to be so honest, because I have had to eat shit at times. And I just couldn't understand how somebody else couldn't do the same. I was literally, if you guys could have heard my conversation with Dr. B, you would be just amazed, because this is what I was saying to him. I was saying, I could not understand it. And that's when he told me, he's like, you're not going to understand it because it's not something that you would do. You're not that person. You are a person I'm just different than that other person. Okay. And there's no way I can understand it, because I wouldn't do those kind of things, Yeah, after the storm, I agree. I have to make myself a priority. You're a strong woman and are an amazing example of what recovery is supposed to look like. You are giving your son the tool he needs to follow in the... Yay! So, anyways, I wanted to talk about that, and I wanted to talk about mom guilt and kind of explain to you guys that, I still have so much guilt and shame when it comes to my son. You know what I mean? It's just overwhelming, the amount of guilt that I have still. And I don't know if I'll ever be able to get over all that. It's a lot. It is a lot. But I do the best I can. Hey, Brandon. So we're going to get back to my, regular content about recovery. And that doesn't mean that I'm not going to talk about stuff that happens on YouTube. That doesn't mean that I'm not going to talk about, what's going on with the Duggars or what's going on with, maybe somebody on TikTok who is overtaking their medicine and falling asleep on a live. That doesn't mean that we aren't going to have fun live streams and talk about different happenings in these YouTube streets and TikTok streets. It just means that I'm going to be able to talk about it in a live and do fun and have fun with it, but then not obsessively make videos about it until I fucking die. You know what I mean? And so this has nothing to do with me feeling bad for her or anything like that. And it has everything to do with me doing the right thing and talking to somebody I look up to who would never steer me on the wrong path, ever. And who wants me to be greater than I already am, in the community and recovery and everything. And so, if I would never listen to somebody if I didn't think they had my best interest at heart. And when I tell you, Dr. B said, please, I look at you like you're my own daughter. Please listen to me. Please, I don't want you to be hurt. That meant so much to me because he's right. He's right. I did my part. I stood on what I believe. I stated what I needed to state. And that's all I needed to do. Thank you, Jacqueline. I appreciate that, y'all. You know, so, and I still have, my dad's still alive, but, my dad doesn't make YouTube videos. And so he doesn't understand like Dr. B does. You know what I mean? Like Dr. B is on YouTube. He watches YouTube. He knows what's going on in these YouTube streets, And so it's not like I can call my dad up and be like, Dad, you will never guess what JK did. Da, 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 da. But I can do that with my boss because he's watching it. He sees it. He sees everything. And so, he understands my passion and how much I care about the recovery community and how much I care about my family and how much I care about helping people in recovery. And so he understands, So, yeah, what's your mom guilt question, girl? Because I mean, maybe I'll be able to answer it, but maybe somebody else will be able to help us too. I feel like the older I get and the longer I stay sober, that the guilt and shame that I feel from, my addiction and using, I know that I know I was a sick person back then, I know I was sick, and I know that, I know I can't go back and change it, right? God, I wish I could, though. Man, I'm telling you guys, if I could wiggle my nose like I Dream a Genie and fucking go back to 2013 when I found I was pregnant, I would do it in a heartbeat, because I love my son, and I want to give him the best chance and opportunity at life. And I feel like if I had been 100% sober during my pregnancy, it would have been better for him. I know it would have been, like that's no questions asked about that. But since I can't wiggle my nose and go back in time like I Dream of Jeannie, I have to just deal with it, My son's 4.5 years old. He has attention issues and anger issues. I feel it's my fault for using when I was pregnant. How do you stop blaming yourself when your son has struggles? Oh my gosh. Did you watch my video about anxiety and my son's anxiety? Because I still blame myself. Even though I had anxiety when I was little, really bad. And so did my son. Like, it's literally could have been genetic, right? But if you ask me, it's my fault because I gave birth to him while I was under the influence of stimulants. And the way I look at it is like this. There's like a 35% chance it was because of me being addicted, and a 75% chance because he was genetically disposed to it, right? Because I'm his mom and I'm a freaking ball of nerves. If y'all haven't noticed why I cry a lot and stuff like that, it's because of the way I feel inside. It's like I can't control it. It just comes out. And it's like, I know a lot of people would look at that as being emotionally unstable, right? But it's actually how I stable myself, is because if it doesn't come out of my eyes through tears, then it will come out in another way, like anger or hurting myself or hurting something in my home. And I don't want to do that. So the healthy way for me to deal with the way I feel is to cry. And so that's why I cry so much, because I have learned that if I don't cry, then it builds up inside of me as anger, and that's something that I used to see my dad do all the time, was he would get angry. Okay. He would get angry, and I don't want to scare my son. I don't want to be like my dad, because I used to be afraid of my dad. I love my dad. He's a good man, but he grew up being beat. His dad used to beat him. His dad used to punch him in the face. Like his dad, I'm not talking about spanking someone. I'm talking about beating them. Okay. And that's what my dad grew up experiencing as a young child, my son's age, getting his face punched in. So I've just learned over time that it's better for me to let it cry and be embarrassed and let it out and let people think I'm whatever they want to think than to hold it in, I know how you feel, baby. I know how you feel. I feel the same way. But I don't think having two addict parents is the worst thing in the world to have. I think it would be a lot worse to have two parents who uh, are abusive. I think it would be a lot worse to have a narcissistic parent, two narcissistic parents, or a narcissistic parent. I mean, like, there's so much worse that a person can be than struggles with addiction. And I think that having two parents who struggle with addiction is actually a gift, because the children, our children, they learn so much empathy and understanding and lovingness and tolerance and patience that normal kids, they don't even really ever have to deal with, like, experience those things, right? And so I think it's a fucking gift to be an addict's son or daughter. I really, really do. And you might look at that differently if you're somebody who has an addict mom or dad that's in active addiction. But down the line sometime, you might be able to look at it from a different point of view. I know, girl. That's the same way it is with my son. It's like we do so much for him. He, because I'm an addict and because of the guilt and shame I feel, he gets to freaking load up on whatever he wants, which is bad. I got to stop doing that. I got to change my ways, you know? Absolutely, Daphne. Yes, growing up when we grew up, you guys. For those of you guys that are younger, y'all are so lucky. Because when we were kids growing up, we didn't talk about mental health. Nobody really talked about it. It was, you were either crazy or you weren't. And if you were crazy, you were in a mental institution. That's it. There was no, like, talk about depression or anxiety or autism or anything like that. Like, none of those things were talked about. Yeah, so so here's the thing. Me and my husband, I'm doing so good. My husband's not so good at it. But I have changed. Like, in 3 years, I have gotten my son used to hearing the word no. Today he came in this morning. He asked me, "Mom, can I buy 2,000 V-Bucks?" I said no. I said, "Mom's broke. I don't get paid till next week Tuesday, and I cannot buy you 1,000 or 2,000 V-Bucks." And he goes, "Man, we're poor." I said, "I know, you need to get a job." So, I said, when you start getting a job, then maybe we'll have some more money because there's only two of us working in this household. We need a third help. you know, Brandon wants to know, do you have any tips on where to start with my stories? Just anything. I mean, how you got sober, what the hardest thing was for you to get sober, what the first time was like when you used meth, what's the first time was like when you drink alcohol, what's the first time like when you used a Xanax, what was the first time like when you used cocaine, what was the withdrawals like from all those drugs. Okay, like there's copious amounts of content you can make from your own addiction recovery story. They, oh, and look at me. When I said that, he ran into his room and hid. So, little stink pot. Yeah, and you know what, Darcy? It's harder when they're younger like that, okay? I'm not going to lie to you, baby. When Nate was 4, honey, I don't even know if I ever said the word no, okay? It wasn't until Nate started turning like 5, 6, 7, 8 years old that I really started to implement these things. And he's a lot older, so he can understand now. 4, I feel like is still toddler. I don't feel like they're really 6, 7, 8 is when they start to understand, hey, mom and dad are working to make this money. They might not have a lot of it. You know what I mean? Hey, MT, what's up, baby? Thank you. Yeah, these babies these days, they say the damnedest things, y'all. Sorry, my eyes are so glassy. I've been crying, so I feel like I look stoned or something. I don't even smoke, but I feel like I look stoned. So I was so concerned about coming on here and telling you guys about the decision I made. I'd already talked to Tracy. I got to text Mindy and let her know too, but She totally understands and would respect me too. But I just didn't want anybody to be disappointed in me, you know? I just want y'all to understand how important it is to me, to help people, and how my job is really important to me, you know? Um, like, my job is so important to me. It's literally my life. And so, I I don't want anything with this bullshit to affect my livelihood, you know? And I feel like that would be the next step for somebody like her, is to try to affect my livelihood, you know? So I love you guys, and I appreciate all of y'all's support. Oh, nothing happened. I talked to my boss. Well, I guess something did happen. MT, I talked to my boss, and he begged me to stop going overboard with the content about you know who. So I had to take into consideration what he said, and I unlisted a bunch of my videos. I think I left like 3 up though. 3, like one about the report, one about my channel getting deleted, and then one about how all it began. And so if y'all knew how many fucking videos I had on this channel about her, you would fucking tell me to do the same thing. It was like a lot. Maybe I got a little overboard. You know, maybe I need to take a little accountability for getting a little overboard. But like, at least I can be honest, you know, at least I can be honest. So I think it's easy to go overboard when you're passionate about something. And I'm very passionate about honesty. You know, like I told you guys, honesty, open-mindedness, and willingness are the cornerstones, the keystones, whatever you want to call them, to recovery. And if you can't be honest with yourself, you cannot recover. Okay? You can't. If you're lying to yourself about your whole situation, you cannot recover. You know? Exactly. It is a hyperfixation. It really is. Hey, Antoine. What's up, baby? Good. Okay, good. I'm glad that y'all don't mind hearing me talk about regular stuff too. That makes me happy to hear that. Brandon, you have to just start. Okay, so if any of you guys are trying to like to share your story about recovery, and you're like Brandon, and you're like, I just don't know where to talk about, you just have to start. Like, you just got to start making videos. Once you feel more comfortable and you get better at making videos, what you will do, I will, thank you so much. What you will do is you'll go back like I have, and you'll see, maybe I should take that video down. Maybe I should do this video. No. And you'll make some changes, but it'll get better and better and better over time as you continue to keep making content, and the more you get comfortable, you know. And I will give you some words of advice. Don't do what I do. Set yourself up a fucking tripod. Okay, set yourself up a tripod. Get yourself a ring light. Sit down. Be still, and focus on talking about what you're talking about. You know, I need to do better. But I also feel like part of what makes people want to watch me is the fact that I am just doing my regular thing that I do every day. And so it's kind of hard. I'm not ever going to stop doing things the way I do things, because I feel like the reason why people relate to me is because I'm relatable. You know what I mean? And so as much as my boss and as other people want me to polish up my presentation, like, I feel like the whole reason why people trust me and watch my content is because of its unpolishedness. And so I know more about the people who view my content than these people who are professional, you know? And so I know that the reason why people watch my content and follow me and trust me is because of the way I am. So, yeah. Alex, I totally understand. And I'm the same way, you know? So we're still going to walk around in my house and we're still going to be in the bathroom. I'm just not going to go live while I go to the bathroom. And we'll still do makeup and talk while we do stuff like that. But I'm just going to try and just refine it a little bit, but not all the way. Not all the way. Exactly. So, thanks, Clary. I love you, girl. I really appreciate you guys. For real. Y'all have helped me so much. So much. So, I'm going to get off here because y'all know when I make them too long, then nobody wants to watch. So, this video is 35 minutes long. I will tell you this. I just realized that this Sunday is Father's Day. So we're still going to do our patron-only live stream. We're just going to do it. Might be a little later than 3 because my husband and my son are going to go see my dad. My father-in-law's passed away. So we're going to go see my dad for Father's Day and go swimming at the lake. And then I might go live at my mom and dad's house just here on the channel, but when I get home from seeing them, which will probably be past 3, it might be like 4 or 5, okay? When I get home from seeing them, then we will go live. I'll keep y'all updated in Patreon, okay, to tell y'all what time the live will start. So I'll put a post up like an hour before I go live. So that way, those of you guys that are in Patreon, make sure that you go and join our patron-only Facebook group so that way you can be in the live, okay? And sorry I had to put our live off yesterday. I put it off, but I still made hella fucking videos, didn't I? So crazy of me. I was like, I can't do the live, but I'm going to go over here and do this and that and the third. What's wrong with me, God? Help me, Lord. But it's $2. It's $2. The lowest tier is $2. You don't have to join any tier, but it's $2 tier. But Claire, it's like $2. It's only gonna be $2. I love you guys, and I hope you guys have a great rest of your day. And I'll see y'all probably later on today. I'll jump on a live stream again. But if I don't, I'll see y'all on later, okay? I did upload a bunch of videos in here, though. For those of you guys, you'll see them. They'll come through your notifications, I think. I uploaded one about my binge eating disorder. I uploaded one about PTSD and CPS. That was from a while ago, but a bunch of you guys haven't seen it. So look in your notifications, and you'll see the videos that I unprivated so you guys can see them here, too. Okay? All right. Love you guys. I'll see y'all later.